Okay, I've always been told never go to the end of Bourbon Street. And I really want to know if anybody else has any stories or experiences about them going to the end of Bourbon Street. I'm going to tell y'all mine. So recently we took a trip to New Orleans, which we go all the time. I'm from Mississippi, so that's like going around the corner for us. So we were on Bourbon Street, and we were just walking, minding our business. And you know how you just get distracted. I knew we shouldn't be down there, but we make it to the end of Bourbon Street. It's like time slowed all the way down, and it was already eerie. I don't know if it was because it was Easter, but it's just like it got real weird real fast. So this is not funny, but I realized we were there, and there was this mental person. He came like right up behind us. Like, why would you be scared of a mental person? But it was them, like him talking to himself, coupled with the chill, and just it was like a few people at the end of the street. And so I looked at my fiance, and we both were like, nah, let's turn around. And all I could do was hear my family like saying, never go down there. And an ignorant way that I've heard, people will be like, oh, don't go down there because that's where gay people are. Gay people are not going to bother you. There's something supernatural going on. And I wasn't scared because, like, I'm a pretty, like, spiritually protected person, so that wasn't the problem. But when you know you need to get up out of somewhere, like, I felt the angels and God being like, turn your ass around. Because I've heard people getting card shuffled really bad in Bourbon Street. But I done got shuffled on Bourbon Street, but it wasn't that big of a deal because it wasn't life-threatening. It was just a building that was there, and then it wasn't there anymore. So I'm wondering, do you have any stories about the end of Bourbon Street, and can anybody, like, clarify what's going on down there?
Someone wanted to share this unfortunate experience they had at a New Orleans cemetery. I am back with another spooky story. We'll call the person who submitted this story Laura. Now, Laura has always been into the dark and mysterious stuff. As she says, she has a gothic aesthetic. She loves skulls, skeletons, blood, gory things, and scary movies. She's always been open to something paranormal happening to her, but despite her aesthetic, she'd never actually gone through anything. But she said, fast forward a few years ago, she said she was seeing this guy who had this idea. Now, she said that this is something that she's always thought about doing, that she's always wanted to do, but she didn't know anybody else who would be into that. So she never brought it up. But she's seeing this guy, and he brings up this idea to her. And the idea being to get intimate in the cemetery. Okay, I'm not one to kink shame. So she says, so they made it like a whole thing. They were gonna have a picnic in the cemetery after hours. And then, I'm sorry guys, I'm trying because, what the fuck? They were having a vampire themed night. So they bought cups, plates, red blankets, candles, and drinks and food that resembles, like blood and body parts. That's a cute gothic date, I feel. So they link up, they get to the cemetery, and they lay their stuff out. We're in this open area, there were graves around them, and they start their dinner. Now, she said from the moment she walked into the cemetery, she could feel the energy difference, as the energy in the cemetery felt so thick and damn near suffocating. There was this immense feeling that they were being watched, as they would hear footsteps behind them, but when they would turn around, there would be nothing there. They would hear weird animals, sounds that they've never heard before. However, this seemed to be feeding into their aesthetic. Although it was a bit unsettling, her and her boyfriend were there for each other. So dinner happens, And then eventually the bada boom, bada bing, thank you, ma'am. She said when they first got into it, without too many details, it got really cold. But temperatures changes, so, they keep going. And while they're doing it, dude behind her starts hyperventilating, like he can't breathe. The air has become so thick around him that they have to stop. So boom, he stops to catch his breath. At this point, the energy just starts to intensify. So now they're really hearing animals rushing towards them. Now at this point, they're hearing voices, as if someone is running past them and whispering something, but they can't quite make out what the fuck is being said. In that moment, they decided that was enough thrill for the night. It's time to go home. So they pack up their stuff and they head towards the exit. One small problem though. They couldn't find the exit. Laura says now she knew exactly where she came in from in the cemetery. And the car that they drove to the cemetery in is not too far, so where's the exit? Laura said they walked back towards the direction that they thought they came in from, and there was no exit. So they walk all the way back, no exit. They're literally looking up and down. Now they're walking cute distances, no exit. So they're like, you know what, it's dark outside. Maybe the red wine has really gotten to them. So they decided to press the car because they weren't parked far from the cemetery, so they should hear the car beep. So they press the key and they hear the car right outside beeping. So they're like, okay, we're close. They're trying to walk towards the sound of the car, and it doesn't sound like they're getting any closer. Laura says at this point, they start freaking out. They were stuck in the cemetery while being haunted by God knows what. When they went to try to call for help, their phones would not work, and they had no idea how long they were stuck in there for, but they knew it felt like forever. When finally, from a distance, her boyfriend sees somebody and he's flagging this man down, and this man walks up to them and says, what are you guys doing here? You shouldn't be in here at this time. And they express to him that they got lost and that they just need to find their way out. And the guy says, what do you mean? The exit is right there. And they looked over, and evidently the exit was right there. Laura said they made a run for that exit, fearing that it might just disappear again. They got out, they looked behind them, thinking the guy is probably looking at them crazy. And when they looked back, there was no one in there. They had enough spooks for the night. They decided that was enough. They got in the car, went home, and didn't think about it. If you want to hear about the nightmares that she and her boyfriend would have after the fact, that's another story time for another day. Thank you guys so much for...
History books. Come here, let me stretch y'all out right fast, because this New Orleans hood history on one of the most popular haunted houses in New Orleans, the Buckner Mansion. Now, the Buckner Mansion was built by Henry S. Buckner. They call him a cotton kingpin. You know what that means. And still to this day, it's said to be haunted by his housekeeper, Josephine, who died in the house. The Buckner Mansion is over 20,000 square feet, and it's only that big because Henry Buckner wanted to compete with his homeboy who had built a house in Natchez, Mississippi. In 1923, a dude named George Soleil moved his business school into the Buckner Mansion, and it stayed there until 1983. The Buckner Mansion probably always been haunted, but it didn't get popular until after American Horror Story started filming their show in there. The Buckner Mansion is located in the Garden District, so tourists is always there. Plus, you can rent it out for $20,000, and even if I had it, come on.
There's 84 people in this. This is the Voodoo Queen Marie Laveau. This is her tomb in the St. Louis Cemetery number 1, and there are 83 people in there with her. You're probably just as shocked as I am, so I'm going to tell you how they do this. This weekend, we took a tour of the cemetery. You have to pay to get in there. You can't just go in there on your own anymore, and they have amazing tour guides. But he told me some stuff that I had never heard of before in my life, and this helps explain it a little bit. So if you want to know how the tour goes without taking the tour and you want to see some of the photos from there, stick around. It's really hard to get into the cemetery. It's owned by the Catholic Church, but once someone's in here, so this whole family is buried in this one little vault thing. What happens is you pass away, they put you in there. It takes about a year for you to decompose and for everything to break down. So they wait a year and 1 day, and then they open it back up. They stick a 10-foot pole in there, and they rake everything to the side so that it's ready for the next person. So something like this could have hundreds and hundreds of people in it. The guys said that they think that's where "I wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole" saying comes from, but that's just what he said. Let's just say that you share a plot with a family member. Well, something happens, one passes away, then you pass away like 8 months later. Well, it's not been a year and a day, so they're not going to open up that other one, so they stick you in the wall until it's time for you to go in the vault. Lots of famous people are buried there, or like important people, or they've made arrangements to be. This is Nicolas Cage's. If you pay the Catholic Church a certain fee, he wouldn't tell us how much, then you get one of these little plaques down here that says perpetual care, which means they will forever upkeep this for you. And if you don't, then it will end up like this. Then he said that after it falls in like this, they'll just rake the bricks out, and that's the end of it. But you probably think, okay, so this is nothing anymore. I could probably buy that land. No, because even though this is gone, it's still owned by a family member that may exist somewhere else that doesn't even know that they own it. It's all really complicated. Here you can see there's like nice one's falling in, ones that's already kind of fell in a little bit, but you know, it is what it is at this point. Some, they don't even know who's in it anymore, like this. I even got a photo of a ghost here on this day. So if you want to see that, let me know in the comments.
Heart of New Orleans. There's a narrow alley in the French Quarter known as Devil's Passage. Most tourists walk by it without a second glance, but locals know better. They say that at midnight, the alley becomes a gateway to the other side, where lost souls and dark spirits linger. Years ago, a young musician named Lucien, desperate for fame, made a deal with a shadowy figure at the entrance of the alley. The figure promised him success in exchange for his soul. Lucien laughed it off, thinking it was just a strange old man playing a trick, and agreed. The next day, Lucien's music career skyrocketed. He played sold-out shows, and his name became famous across the city. But as the years passed, he began to notice dark figures watching him from the shadows, especially near Devil's Passage. One night, as he walked home past the alley, he felt an overwhelming urge to enter. The moment he stepped inside, the shadows closed in around him and the air grew icy cold. Lucien's screams echoed through the narrow walls. But when dawn broke, the alley was empty. Lucien was never seen again, and those who dare to enter the alley at midnight claimed to hear faint, haunting music in the distance, his final performance, echoing from the other side.
Y'all got another story time. Living in New Orleans, seeing witches, encountering witches and vampires. Lock in, y'all. Lock in, gang. There's a restaurant in New Orleans called, I want to say like for your child. I'm screwing the name up. I already know. I ain't gonna even try to pronounce the name. From New Orleans, you know, but it's a bougie restaurant. I think it's on Nell Street. And they walk around and they offer you meat all day long. Lamb chops, steak, any bougie top tier meat. They got servers that dress like these little weird costumes or whatever it's called, and they slice your meat and give you the meat. Top tier meat though. This is not just like chicken and little. This is top tier meat. You can go to like the middle part of the restaurant where it's like a salad bar and get your salad and then taste all the different meats. Okay, I'm at this restaurant. First time at this restaurant, y'all. I'm with some friends and this chick that I was messing with, right? We chilling, eating, waiting on, I think probably lamb chops or something. We having a good time. The vibes is immaculate. We drinking, you know, vibing, eating, whatever like that. We in there for like probably, I say an hour. The restaurant packed. Keep in mind, the vibes is immaculate as far as everybody that's in there. Okay, an hour and a half for us being there. I kid you not, y'all. I turn my head, peeping the scenery out. I look at the door. It's full witches or vampires that walk through the door. It's finna get real. Hold on, I gotta sit up for this, y'all. These girls walk through the door on some Mean Girl intro vibe, like you know that intro of Mean Girls with all slow motion and all 3-4 of them walking. I swear to God, this is how they came through the door, but they so cool, calm and collect. All right, so I look at the door, I see them. I look back at the people I'm sitting with, and then I look around at everybody else. And the restaurant, because the restaurant is a bougie restaurant. Like this is where you get top tier meat at. It ain't cheap to go in that place. I'm looking at the attire, everybody. I'm kind of dripped down. They got on dresses. People got on heels. I look at them. They got on combat black boots, capes. I don't know why white people in New Orleans always want to wear capes. I shit you not though. If you ever been to New Orleans or you from New Orleans, you know the white vampire looking people like to wear them damn capes. These bitches had on capes, combat boots. Everybody got on nothing but black. Okay, that may be normal to some people. Like I ain't think too much about it, right? Because maybe that's just they drip. Okay, they walk past me, like behind my back, to get to their table. Bro, when I tell you the energy that I felt from them females that walked past me, my whole body immediately got cold. I remember my body getting cold. I remember like the hairs on my neck and my arms stood up like as they walked past. I'm like, who the fuck is these? Sabrina the witch has motherfucking past me. Okay, they sit at their table. I'm not paying no mind. Like, okay, that was weird. Like, you can always feel the energy of somebody when they walk past you. I don't know about y'all, but I can because I'm like super sensitive to energy. And I be peeping the scenery and everything. Whole time I might be a witch. Anyways, they walk past, I get a weird vibe. Bro, we in a restaurant. 2 minutes go by. The whole energy of the whole entire restaurant changed, y'all. I cannot make this up. I feel it changed. The people that I'm with get quiet. Like, the whole restaurant energy went down. Like, they came in there and it just shifted the energy. But they not bothering nobody. Like, they chilling with their capes and shit. We right here, right? And they table, like, right at where my other chat. I keep having to look back because I'm trying to piece together why the hell the vibes got messed up when they walked through. All of a sudden, nobody talking, nobody laughing, nobody joking. Everybody just like very like robotic, like still like. Not the plant just fell out of nowhere talking about the story. My plant just fell down just talking about this story. That's weird. But yeah, nobody. And then at this point, I'm realizing everybody stopped getting to meet. Like the service that was coming around asking, hey, you want to try this? You want to try that? Everybody, y'all, I kid y'all not, everybody in the restaurant stopped getting meat. Like everybody started saying no. So at first I'm thinking like, oh, whatever they're offering probably is not something that they want. Like, okay. But then I'm dude coming to me, he like lamb chops. Why did y'all turn down lamb chops? Anyways, time go by, they get their food, and I'm not even putting two and two together. I'm at an all. This is where I gotta clock it. I realize I'm at an all meat restaurant. Y'all, I cannot make this up, bro. I cannot make this up. I'm at an all meat restaurant. Everybody that, a lot of people, I'm saying a lot of people because I wasn't, but a lot of people who's getting the meat choices that the service is passing out, they meat is looking real raw. Now I like my shit eating well, but I don't like it. I don't like it raw. It's a lot of raw meat being served. I'ma just say. So I'm peeping at the witches. I just keep peeping because I can't. Like they just stealing the show, but they not doing nothing besides being booted up by the face. Like they just had very stale faces. Like they wasn't enjoying being there, but they was only there like 10 minutes. And it didn't dawn on me till way after that This is an all meat restaurant. Everywhere I look, I'm seeing cows on the plate still mooing. Man, I really think that was vampires. The energy was cold, just like the other story time that I did. Like the energy as they walked past me was cold. Like the energy was cold, not like standoffish cold. I'm talking about the room got cold when they walked past. It was like some Blade slow motion movie scene type of shit. They got capes on. There's no reason for you to be dressed like that at a restaurant like this. All they makeup the same. Nobody's smiling. They not talking to each other. It was like they was there to stand on business and eat their food, but it also gave, like, now that I'm thinking about it, saying this shit out loud, it gave like a scene in Twilight or any vampire movie where they go out in public and they gotta eat, but they gotta act normal because they really won't tear up their food, but they gotta keep it calm, keep it cute because they're around humans. Oh my god, that my stomach hurt. Story time over, bro. That shit still give me chills to this day. New Orleans got some weird people in the city, man. This is definitely home of the vampires, voodoo witches. Y'all got another story time. Living in New Orleans.
Oh, there's a freaky phenomenon that happens in New Orleans where...
Hey, good morning. So I just saw this video and I was like, oh, I have a story about the last time I went to New Orleans. I just woke up, so I'm not going to show my face on camera. But anyway, last time I went, I visited the French Quarter, like most people do. And if you've ever seen a map of the French Quarter, it's kind of like a big square. So, it should be relatively easy to know where you're going. Like if you know one certain restaurant is in one corner, then you obviously head straight into that corner. So there was one street in particular. I want to say it was like maybe near the middle left-ish of the map. I'm not really sure, but for some reason I kept stumbling upon this street, and it just gave me a particular feeling. I was always anxious. I don't really know. It didn't even look menacing or anything. It looked like a normal street in New Orleans. I went through it once and I was like, I feel sick to my stomach. Maybe it was, the third mimosa of the day that was affecting me. So I veered right and just kept going straight and straight and straight. And what do you know it? It's the same exact street that I had veered right from. And I thought that was weird, but I thought, well, the architecture all kind of looks the same. Even though it was the same colored building, it was like gray and then black railings and certain flower pots. And I'm like, okay, that was strange. I didn't really pay attention to it, but I got that sick feeling in my stomach again. So I was like, man, either the mimosas are affecting me or something. I don't know. So I went straight and I just continued away from that street. Kept walking. I walked about like 8 more minutes or so. And what do you know? The same building, the same everything was in front of me. And at that point, I got really scared. And I remember calling my dad, and I was not crying at that point because I was like, Dad, there's something weird. Like, I was actually just checking up on him, saying, hey, my vacation's going good. How about you? But I was using that as I was feeling so scared at the moment because I was like, I could have sworn I went straight, and I'm still back at this specific street. That was making me feel so uncomfortable. So I got off the phone with him. I kind of explained what happened, and he was like, well, just put on your GPS, even though you know it's a giant square. Just go ahead, put your GPS on, and just go along with it. I was like, all right. So I hung up with my dad. I had finally left that area of New Orleans, because I kept walking straight like 15 minutes. And the third time, I went back on that street again, without turning around or anything. And the creepiest part of this whole story is the fact that I made sure I put, on the GPS, I put one of the casinos, which is right in the waterfront. And I put it on my GPS, and I'm thinking, okay, well, this will lead me directly. It was telling me to make a right and just continue straight until we reached the waterfront. Or me, I should say. And I'm getting like goosebumps just thinking about this moment. I put on the GPS. I made a right. I went as far away from that street as possible. And when I did make that right, and you could clearly see on the map, it's like a straight shot to the casino and the waterfront, it kept saying recalculating, and it kept wanting to bring me to that specific street. Oh my God, it was so scary. I had to turn it off. At that point, I got tears because I was by myself, and I'm like, oh my God, why is this street so scary to me? But, yeah, New Orleans was crazy. Also, I will be back this weekend.